here are 3 questions I got in my Twitter DMs over the last week. And so these are questions I get pretty commonly. So I wanted to take the time to address them here because I think that a lot more people probably have these questions as well. So if this type of video is helpful, be sure to like it, be sure to subscribe for more, and then leave a comment if there's anything you want me to go into more detail on. So the first question I got was from @ASINzen, and his question was, I noticed you saying you get Twitter cold DMs from suppliers. I get those a lot on Instagram and Twitter, but how do I know they're legit authorized distributors? So really my feedback there would be, you want to do your due diligence on these people, right? Everyone that's reached out to me thus far has been legitimate. We've started doing business with a couple of them, but what I did before I decided to do business with them is I looked at their website, I looked up the ship from address, right? I looked at Google Maps, make sure it was a legitimate commercial address, really just do as much searching on the company and the person that reached out to you as possible. So again, that's going to be really the best way to defend yourself from buying from somebody that might be trying to rip you off. So the second question came from @O'Connor_Aiden. And his question was, do you think 4 initial wholesale positions of 2.5K each is a good place to start? And so what he's asking is, do I think it makes sense to go $2,500 deep into 4 SKUs for a total of 10K, really to get your feet wet in wholesale? Now, my advice there would be, it depends on how much capital you have, and it obviously depends on what those 4 SKUs look like. So my suggestion would always be, especially when starting out, you want to go wide before you go deep. So if you've got 10 potential SKUs to purchase, then I would make sure I bought 10 of those SKUs, but maybe a smaller quantity of each of those 10, as opposed to cherry picking the best 2 or 3 and buying a lot of those 2 or 3, right? Because something could possibly go wrong with one of those 2 or 3 products. And so if you go a lot wider on, say, 10, you're really limiting your risk. And then that way, if a couple of those 10 end up doing really well, that's when you come back and go 2,500 into one of those SKUs or more, obviously, if the opportunity looks good. So Aiden, I hope that that was helpful. Now, the final question was from @Raiz Ahmadbutt. And his question was, do you work with suppliers who always give you lead times of 2 to 4 weeks? And do they always demand payment via ACH in advance, either full or half? So we work with with some suppliers that operate like this, and we work with other suppliers that are stocking distributors where they've got the product on hand typically, and they ship out the next day. So as far as the lead time is concerned, again, it really differs whether you're working with a distributor that has that product on hand, or whether you're having to have your supplier order it directly from the manufacturer, or whether they still don't have it in stock yet. Now, as far as demanding an ACH payment in advance, either full or half, so there are some suppliers that we work with, primarily more wholesalers are going to require this, where if you put in an order with them, and let's just say it's not going to get here for another 2 or 3 weeks, then the most we're usually willing to put down is 30%. And so the supplier will typically ask for 30% down. We typically won't put down any more than that. And then obviously we pay them the balance when it ships. So it's not uncommon for a supplier to ask for that. Again, most likely a wholesaler is going to ask for a down payment as opposed to the brand themselves or an actual distributor. So that's not uncommon. But again, just like with any other supplier, you want to do your due diligence and make sure that they're legitimate before moving forward. So those were 3 questions I got in my Twitter DMs this past week. I hope that was helpful. If you have any similar questions, shoot them to me on Twitter @GanimCorey. So thanks for watching.